I have never seen either movie I'm about to talk about. But guess what? I don't care.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Invited this man.
Get your ass on.
What do we gotta call a hospital.
Won't do any good. I've seen this before. When that pie goes up to bat, hits his lower intestine. Boom!
You've seen this before?
11 times, as a matter of fact.
Yes, hello, doctor, hospital. Won't do any good. 11 times? Oh, he's a goner.
First off, I'd like to tell you a story about me and an old girlfriend of mine. This was early in the period in which we dated, but I could tell she was starting to become entranced by feminist ideology. And in an effort to correct that, we discussed the dynamic between men and women and the duties that they individually have. Or better yet, the metrics that they individually have. And so God knew that I was trying to free her from this demonic influence. And so he sent me a shining example that day. We were sitting outdoors at a brewery on a beautiful sunny day. And we were kind of like street side, like right on the sidewalk where people go by. And this guy rode in on a bike, and he didn't seem like the most well put together fellow. And he asked us, he was like, "Hey, have you seen this couple walk by here?" We were like, "What couple?" We don't know. He then said, "Well, the lady, she's a crack whore. And the man, well, he's about my size." And we were just like, I don't know, man. Sorry, weren't really paying attention. And he was like, "All right, whatever." And he rode off on his bike. And I said to her, "Did you catch that? Did you hear what he said? Did you really listen to the foundations of what he was saying?" And she didn't, so I figured to enlighten her. But in this moment where he passed by, the lady he was looking for a lady and for a man. He described the lady as a crack whore. Not the most ringing endorsement of this woman, right? But how did he describe the man? He said the man was about his size. Completely different descriptions. He measured the man against himself, and he made a judgment about the woman. I told my then girlfriend that he was measuring the woman by her quality, his reasoning in calling her a crack whore. That was the quality of woman that she was. Was that true? I have no idea, but they're out there. And this man wasn't the tallest man, right? He was probably about 5'7", I don't know, 5'5", somewhere in there. Very, very, not a big guy. And so when he described the man as about my size, he was describing the man's capability. Not his quality as a man, but what he can do. Because he was saying, what he was truly saying, is that in a fight, it would be a fair match between me and this man. That's how he described him. That's what he meant in the 3 words, about my size. So he describes the woman by her quality and the man by his capability. And so when we consider our modern myths, what does it say about the quality of women and the capability of men? What myths should we look at? Should we look at the super version of these things? Why not? Of course we should. So, the Superman movie released last year by James Gunn, I've never seen it. I could not put myself through the torture of watching that movie. I would need to be paid at least $1 million to suffer through however long that movie is. But I remember seeing the first image of the first trailer that was ever released. It was Superman laying in the snow, bleeding and whining. That's not an exaggeration at all. Not one bit. The first image we see of this course correction, of this new Superman, who's all about kindness and punk rock and all that nonsense, he's bleeding and whining in the snow. Boo-hoo. Get up. You're the Superman. From that point on, I knew that this Superman was going to confirm every suspicion I had, that they were going to devalue the myth so that they can devalue you. Because if the Superman is this whiny wimp who begs Lex Luthor for attention and approval and validation at the end of the movie, then that's what they want you to be. They want you to be that pushover wimp. They want you to be a man who is not capable of toughness, who is not capable of resilience, who is not capable of endurance. They want you to be the wimp that they portrayed the Superman as. Realistically, men should be like Zack Snyder and Henry Cavill's iteration. A self-sacrificing, omnibenevolent hero. But back to the recent abominations. I can guess how the movie went. I know they fought some big booger monster. You know, everyone's favorite DC villain, the booger monster. What does that say about the Supergirl? Because she's the super version of girl. That's all Superman and Supergirl and anything you really put super in front of means. The super version of man. The super version of girl. Right? It's the highest ideal of those things. It's the Americanized version of the Ubermensch, of the Overman. So how do they portray the super version of girl? Well, just from the first instances in the trailer, once again, they portray her as this lonely, drunk, sad loser, defiant, rebellious type, all the worst qualities in a girl or a woman, right? I wouldn't want my sister to act that way. I wouldn't want my girlfriend to act that way. So if they are portraying the super version of girl as having all the worst qualities that a woman can have, then that's what they want every woman to be. Because they are lowering the quality of what it means to be a super girl, woman, whatever. This is how you degrade a society, whether you want to admit it or not. This is how you degrade a people. You deteriorate and you dilapidate their myths to the point where they have no story to tell about themselves. They have no story to tell about their people or where they come from or who they are. When saboteurs and incompetent, incapable men get in charge, when saboteurs, incapable men, and low-quality women become involved in the production of our modern myths, then they will only project their decay, deterioration, and degeneracy upon the rest of us. We must reclaim our myths if we are to describe who we are. So thank you, and good night.